Hey guys, it's Dr. Kirby and we're back with another video. Now I have to redo this recording because when I uploaded that first video, there was no sound. So that kind of sucks. But you know what? It's okay. Not Twitter. Let's talk about what happened. You see how I'm prepared here. Not me listening to music. I was listening to my old school stuff. So let's talk about the last skins. Actually, can I use this as my example actually? The video I just reacted to. Reacting to a reaction. Isn't that nice? But yeah, let's talk about it. There was no audio in this video, so let's go through it very quickly. There is sounds for, you know, the video itself, right? But there isn't anything for the audio, which is so bad. Now I can see it, like it's moving and stuff. So let's discuss this one. So when I first saw the skin, I was like, it's really nice. Like it's very, how do you say this? Evangelion. I said it in the last in this original post. It looks more cleaner when I also compared it to like Soul Fighter. And how do I say this? There's a lot of things I said. I just ate as well. So after I recorded the original one, but yeah, like she looks more cleaner. You can see some inner outlines here on the 3D model, this little pink one, which I just saw just now. But then again, this is a comic booky anime style type of video, if you know what I'm saying, with KaiSa and the skin line, kind of futuristic, kind of like space racing, kind of like that. If you guys are familiar with Wipeout, then that's kind of like the vibe she is giving here. Her face, they're since this is a collab skin, they're very meticulous with the face. Even though later on when we get to the Prestige, we see some eye, guys has some eye things going on there. But I think it's really nice. It is what it is. I don't think it's bad, the mix of colors. I think I like that majority of the colors, the accents like this blue and this pink are mostly the accents. Well, the main course is this white. And when I talk about that white later, you're gonna see it more in, you know, the other skin lines. Although some details, I wish they showed. This is so stupid. I didn't say this in the last one, but I wish they showed more skin with that. But I'm like, so it would sell, right? But isn't that gonna be to like Zenless Zone Zero-y, if you know what I mean? And now look at her doing some backflips, honey, here on the bike. Now, I was gagged because this was the home guard. Although she's a little slow. You know, this is a Porsche collab, it's a little slow. But, you know, obviously it's her movement speed thing. Later on, when she gets home guards or something, she probably can go faster. So now this is her auto attacks here. Now, she also has a little bit of an anima squad type beat with these VFX. I don't honestly know what they were doing with her concept wise or the overall concept. It's mostly space. It's an amalgamation of space and racing, futuristic space racing, because some of the wheels, well, I don't know about the Prestige when we get to it, some of the wheels don't really hit the ground. You know what I mean? Some of them don't really hit the ground. But when you look at her abilities here, this is the not evolved one. It's very basic. You can also see like what do you call that? These lines, things. A lot of older shapes that I've talked about in videos have been talked about in the past. They show up here from, you know, the what's that, the Ocean Song VFX, Space Groove VFX, the Star Guardian VFX. Like some of these are there. Now we're having here the True Damage type. See all these lines. You're familiar with these. Even these like small details here, these little patterns. Yeah, but I think the goal is very electronic, futuristic. Yeah, so sometimes it sounds like a mind F, but all you have to know that this is cars, and the title is Neon Daredevil, meaning like neon, colorful, futuristic. So, yeah. So it is what it is. Not much craziness with the VFX when I reacted to this initially. But I wish they added more transformation with the skin line. For her, I know KaiSa Star Guardian doesn't even transform, and that's a legendary skin. But if you're going for a collab skin, you could have just added stuff in, because I don't think the Prestige has one either. Also, this was the part where I was gagged too, where the thing was gonna get hit, the truck. Not the truck, the bike. But like, it's really nice. See, that ult sold it for me, to be honest. And I do like the Mark passive here and the evolve. Look at this one. Honestly, I know you haven't seen my reaction yet for the Prestige one yet. We'll talk about it in a bit. But when I saw the Prestige, I think in terms of evolution animations, this was the better fit, the base one. And yeah, Prestige selects are a mixed bag for me. I mean, as you can see there, which we'll get into in a bit. Because, you know, it's a lot. You know, I don't mind exquisites nowadays, especially after I grinded one crazily. But yeah, that's with her. Is she legendary? I think she's better than Star Guardian KaiSa is, but because there's so many more factors that play into her, and maybe I'm not a KaiSa expert. Maybe, you know, you've seen some reused assets here and there for KaiSa. But yeah, either way, you know, a 10 out of 10, especially this part over here. Okay, but now let's talk about this Prestige. Prestige, honey, prestige. Prestige select. Whenever I hear the word select, you know, oh, look at her eye. I said this in the video. Look at her eye. If she's looking there, why is her eye there? I can do that manually with my eyes. But yeah, let's talk about the prestige selects. Now, this is going to be expensive, honey. But look at the transitions with the cinematic. It has like a car scene. And a lot of people will be like, is the car going to be there in the animation? A lot of people were gagged. And I know all the gays are. But yeah, she looks like a KDA music video with featuring Porsche. You know what I mean? And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't KDA Evelyn's villain have a Porsche, or maybe there's a different car brand that we're not going to talk about? Also, look at the audacity that they have here in the background. They gave her like a statue, like she's like Faker. You know what I mean? Like the Faker statues. She also looks like she's going to Disney Speedstorm. She got rims on the sides of her rockets. Kind of look like parts of the car. Like, look, parts of the car, and then the front. Isn't that crazy? The hair is hairy. She took some of Aurelia's wigs. I think body proportion wise here, she is like, it's KaiSa. You know what I mean? Like, no weird proportions, you know, no weird, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is her. This is our girl. Face, I don't know, because the angles are really making her a fool right now. And now she's sitting on her car, showing us some face, as you can see from the thumbnail that I did just now. So yeah, the skin, I wonder how expensive it's gonna be. I don't even know what the gotcha is for this, by the way. So yeah. Okay, now let's get gagged, honey. This is her recalling. This is some weird VFX here. Obviously, this is a beta yet to release, but look at some of the issues here that I've noticed. If that's her face in the outline, why is the body not? So yeah, the car doesn't need to be outlined because it is what it is. And it's so weird seeing a Hot Wheels like car here. Look. And it has the sound effects too. Like, that's rich. Now you're playing like a Need for Speed, a Gran Turismo, you know what I mean? All the racing games. And as someone who grew up in racing games, this is good. The skin line is good. But like, whoa, it's a little too much for me, and I'm a bit sick. It's like, this is not what racing I grew up in. I grew up in like the Japanese, you know, culture, racing, JDMs. So yeah, this is kind of weird. But no hate to Porsche, obviously. Well, they obviously gave the license for the logos, but like, you know what I mean? No hate to the creators as well. And I think there's a lot of car fanatics out there who love Wild Rift, you know what I mean? Car culture is very big, underratedly big, or should I say big, but no one really talks about it. So, you know, you get the gist right there. But yeah, her coloring here, you see purple gold, right? But the majority of the time it's mostly orange, kind of like Seraphine's, honestly. Seraphine's Star Guardian with a bit more red and a bit more pink. And I think that's a good match rather than this coloring like the purple gold thing, because see, it matches the missiles, right? And it doesn't really stray much to the outfit, because I think the redness of this is the what do you call this? The accent, some of the accents here later on, which we'll see maybe from the models you've seen, this and the other. But yeah, it's very standard. I'm not like waste your guys' time. But the only part that gagged me was this ultimate. The rim was moving, like it was crazy. See, look at that. It's like Ghost Ride the Whip. You know what I mean? See, that's another car terminology. Like, I love, like, and then when she ults, I paused at the right time too. Look. And then when she ults, she zooms in. You can see her stretched out of it. And then the car comes in, and then this is where she like pops up. That's really nice. And a lot of people are saying like, isn't that too much? Girl, have you played like any other MOBAs in outside of Wild Rift? Honor of Kings has base abilities like this. Like, so this was one of the few examples where like, okay, there is an engine upgrade, but what was the changes that they gave to the engine, right? Let me double check if I am recording with sound, baby. But yeah, like, you know what I mean? I guess this is one of the few examples. Hopefully Wild Rift will collab more with other things. I want Riot to not be scared. Even collab with your own games. Collab with 2xKO. Give us like a Senna skin from 2xKO in like Wild Rift. Or something like that. There's so many other options. And if you're trying to invest or impress your investors, they will be impressed, especially with the amount of money that these people are going to get with it. You know, make it gotcha if you want to. Like, see that red accent there on the ultimate shield? That was one of the few VFX we've seen in the thing. And I like this look, very like hello Dubai. But by that I mean, like, you know, I've lived in the Middle East and I've seen, you know, Dubai's marketing. It's very this, you know what I mean? Like that type of like futuristic, wow. It's like not Vertigo Arrow, but like something else, but like 2026 futuristic, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's a random rose there, and that Porsche logo, that big 3D model of that Porsche logo too. And then when she gets into that form, instead of red, it's more like a pink red because it mixes in with the light. See, you can see more of the accents here, kind of get an understanding. And I love this UI, very, you know, Need for Speed, customizable UIs from Need for Speed. You can customize the meter. Oh, I miss those days. 2000s, 2004. I was 5. But yeah, I like this skin line as it is, but again, it is KaiSa, so the only like saving grace was her ultimate. Even this as well was cute, honestly. And then, you know, does she die in her car? Does she die in her car? I'm actually, I think the model is going to be so much better when it's out, because look at the head and look at the body. See how important it is for detail to be like taken notice. And then there is her splash art as well, serving skinniness. Look at that waist. Come on now. They've made her very what do you call that game? Nikki. Nike? That one. Okay, now let's move on to our girl Aurora from TFT. Now, thank God this wasn't recorded because I was falling asleep because I wanted to eat something. I had no sugar on me. But yeah, Aurora's is kind of random, but she fits the skin line. She's kind of like a bike with no wheels. So she's a hover bike. You know what I mean? It I don't know what she is in this universe. She looks like the engine girl, you know what I mean? See, look, there she is riding. And she's kind of finished, as you can see there. And this is an epic skin, but some of the outlines are like, you see how thick that outline is compared to some of the other parts? You know. And look how good that is. That's like it reminds me of like when Star Garden Home Guards, they spin around. She's riding on her little hover bike cycle. But yeah. She also got the similar this gagged me, that auto attack. Look at that. It rises up. See, you see me pausing at the right time too, because I knew I was gonna talk about it. I think she's like a traffic girl. You know, like stop the traffic, go. You know, how long have we been recording? 13 minutes. Whoa, that is crazy. I hope this is not long as the video. But yeah, that was the really nice part here. Her concept still doesn't make any sense to me. Is she supposed to be like, what is she supposed to represent in terms of racing? There's a word, but I can't remember. Is she supposed to be stats? Is she supposed to be like speed? This one was very racing. It looks like a Yoni. Oh, look, it goes like that, and then rooms. It kind of reminds me of like cars passing. And this pattern, look at that pattern, honey. We talk about the patterns. Look at that pattern. We see this in like, you know, majority of the skin lines. It's a circle, but they just warped the shape to make it look like that, and it's kind of nice. I don't know what she's supposed to represent, like a timer or something. Like, girl, I don't know. And but it's really good colorings as well. But you know the gaggy part of this thing, the ultimate was nice. Again, I don't know what to represent. I don't know what she represents here, like traffic cones or something. But yeah, the thing we need to gag about is these colors. Look at that color. So there's 2. So, but this is the winner here. And look at the custom bike chromas. details here. It's very Wuthering Waves update. You know what you know what I mean? I like that. And even look in the home guard, it fits as well. So that's a lot of changes for detail like that. So, but the VFX are not changed, which is fine because this is such a big deal, especially with the bike changing color. It's not pink. See, look at that as well. What reflected on the 3D art also reflected on the recall for the gameplay animation. So I'm really proud of that change right there. This looks like a traffic cone. I like the first one as well. And when we see later, her splash art is very fan servicey to me. You know, I mean, this is her like normal like look, but if you give her some a bit more proportions, girl, you would think this is some other game. You know what I mean? Marvel Rivals setting. Um, but yeah, let's talk about Z slash lighter slash so many other things. He's supposed to, when I said in this video, I think he was supposed to represent like a tuner. Tuner meaning like normal cars. Exotic cars are kind of like what KaiSa's car looked like in the Prestige. Tuners are like what you see mostly running in the streets, but like just slightly customized. And I think that was the goal here. But then again, his wheels are not even standing, or should I say, on the ground, the bike. So yeah, and I'm glad that he looks like Xborg from ML. But yeah, I love this car. It's very Hot Wheels, like my childhood. And the car hovers as well. I think he's the fastest car out of all of them. You know what I mean? Especially with the items, it makes sense. And you can see the wheels as well, slightly like alting a bit. And I think it makes sense for him to get the skin line as a character. And look at the checkered flag you can see there. And the spines of that first skill. Look at that. It looks like spine swirls shurikens. I think the reason why he got this skin is because isn't there like a movement speed item here? Isn't Yomu's in this game? So it kind of fits that aesthetic of him, especially going to do on a home guard, since Yomu's here is like how do you say this? Yomu's is more like a move speed assassin item. Majority of these people have move speed in their kit, minus Irelia. Maybe Irelia is more of a Mark Q queen when it comes to these skins. So yeah. And the ultimate is nothing to write home about except this meter though, because he's like going over the extreme. And then there's an X and then it pops. Also, I also said this, it's very pay to play because you can see when it pops. So you can Zonya's like that. But I love the third skill shadow animation there, that swirl when he spins around. So like look, 1, 2, 3 Zonyas. Like I could have Zonyas like that, maybe 2.5. But yeah, let's talk about the chromas though. This chroma is very nice. Again, similar with Aurora's. He is kind of in the same league with KaiSa. He looks like Shen. Ironic, isn't it? And his hair, I don't know if it's green or black, but it's in the same mix as well. You can see the car changed as well to this like silver white type. It's really nice, and I love the headlights here. A little too crazy, but it's a good detail. This blue one is very random, but it's very reminiscent of like childhood, especially with the blue Hot Wheels with the flames. If you know, you know. And it really reflected on the car, as you can see here on the back of the boosters. You can see that thing there, the rainbow. So I'm like, dang, I guess it is what it is, girl. You can even see some details in the car with how it's revving and stuff. But yeah, that was the reaction here. His flashlight kind of needs work because he looks good, but I just can't see it. You know what I mean? This is longer than the video. Oh, yeah, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like it. If you don't, like, sure you guys subscribe, notification bell for never upload a new video. As you can see, I am a VTuber who does content. Obviously, you know the tea. What skin are you excited for? Make sure you leave it in the comments below. And yeah, social media is there to support the channel in the long run. If you want to know how to support the channel, you can just click here and you'll see like support, or you can donate in the coffee page in the description below. If you want to support me anywhere else, you can just subscribe, or if you have business opportunities for me, let me know. And yeah, that was the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this recording is recorded. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.